Hi, you want to buy a new motorcycle and you narrow down your search to these two, the Yamaha Ténéré 700 and the Honda CRF300L. Now, which one should you buy? Can we compare the two bikes? I hope I can. I will give you some very important information, and by the end of the video, I hope I will help you make a decision. I am Dragoș and you're watching Romania Dual Sport. Now let's start with the target customer. In my opinion, and after riding the bike for more than 7,000 kilometers, I think that this motorcycle is best suited for one rider. That's the driver and that's it. I don't say it cannot carry the second person, the passenger. It can, but it will not be a comfortable ride. In my opinion, this is not a touring motorcycle. On road, this bike performs perfectly for solo adventure riders or for group adventure riding, but with one person and baggages. It is absolutely fabulous off-road, although it's a little bit on the heavy side, so it's very tough to pick it up because it carries the weight up here. The Ténéré 700, when you drop down the motorcycle, it will be a little bit difficult to pick it up. The Ténéré 700 is also a great commuter. You can use this bike to go to your job or to do your daily business in the town or outside of the town. The 700cc engine CP2 from the MT-07, it's absolutely great and it's bulletproof. The range of the motorcycle, it's also great, at least for me in Romania, around 250 to 260 kilometers with one full tank. It has 16 liters capacity of tank. So here the range is of course depending on the riding style, depending on the load of the motorcycle, but everything I threw on it when riding to adventure rides and off-road and on-road. More than 4.5 liters per 100 kilometers I never had. So in my opinion, it's a great consumption. Now, I said in the beginning that it was not good for two-up riding. You can do it, but for more than 300-400 kilometers, in my opinion, it's a pain. For me, in my experience, it was not good. Now, I will put here my characteristics, so you can decide for yourself if it is suited for you or not, but for me it was not okay. Now I have the standard seat. This is not a custom seat, only the cover is changed. It's a standard 2 seats. So let me tell you why it was not very comfortable, and I did 800 kilometers in 4 days, which in my opinion it's very bad. So you should do in 4 days more than 800 kilometers, but I did it with my wife. So take a look. My position, it's ergonomic, it's okay, but here on the back there is now not much space left for the passenger. Now you add the lateral side baggage, you add the back baggage, and both the rider and the passenger cannot move them. This is the problem. This is the problem with the comfort, because when you cannot move, the pressure points on your body are becoming unbearable and you have to move. When you are alone, first of all, you have all of this seat to move on, to change your position and to change the pressure point on your body. You can stand up, you can do multiple things to improve the comfort. But when you're two, and with this saddle and with my characteristics and the characteristics of my wife, we had to stop every 45 to 50 minutes, otherwise it was unbearable for us. So in my opinion, it's not a very good bike for two-up riding. Okay, the position of the handle and the ergonomic in general for this motorcycle is absolutely great for one rider. Take a look. You are sitting on the motorcycle, everything is where it's supposed to be. You're reaching to the to the handlebar perfectly. Your position of the feet are almost 90 degrees, so it's a very comfortable position for one people. Even when standing, you can see it's very nice. I have that slight attack position when I'm riding, and you have a very good vision up front. So as I said, riding off-road or on-road alone on this motorcycle, it's very, very good. Now, the target customer for the Honda CRF300L. Of course, as you may have guessed, this is a motorcycle only for one people. At least a guy with my characteristic, my body characteristic, can only ride alone. Now, the comfort on this motorcycle and the ergonomy, take a look. It's absolutely great, absolutely great. Everything is in reach. I can flat foot the motorcycle without any problem. I have enough space on the saddle to move comfortably front to back, or to stand up if I need to stand up during road riding. It is absolutely perfect. You can control your motorcycle with your knees, with your foot, on road or off-road. So in terms of comfort and ergonomic, for one guy, it is absolutely perfect. This motorcycle shines off-road, and when I say shines, I really mean it. It's a very good, confidence-inspiring motorcycle off-road, and you can do with it incredible stuff. It's only limited by your skill and your will to attack tougher or less tougher terrain. The consumption of this bike is absolutely crazy. So less than a scooter. As I said in one of the videos, in the first video that I talked about the Honda CRF300L, this bike consumes less than a scooter. That means 3.0 liters per 100 kilometers. It is absolutely incredible. I would like to give you a little bit more details about the ergonomy and the comfort on the motorcycle, because for me this is very, very important. For the Ténéré 700, as I showed you before, the position on the motorcycle is great. The position to the handlebar, it's very, very good. It's easy to reach, it's within reach. Of course, for a person with my body characteristics. Standing up, it's absolutely perfect on this motorcycle. I, with my height, can flat foot the motorcycle without any problem. The official height of the motorcycle can apply also to mine, because I haven't changed anything about it. So for shorter person, or let's say less than 184 or 185, it will be a little bit difficult to flat foot the motorcycle. You can tippy toe it, but more difficult when you want to flat foot it. And of course, off-road will be a little bit more difficult. Riding on the Yamaha Ténéré 700 on the highway with more than 100 kilometers per hour, with the standard windshield, because I haven't changed the windshield, this is the standard one, I don't feel the helmet buffeting, I don't feel the strange movement of the head, but I feel the wind here in my shoulders. So when I'm going around 120 to 140 kilometers on the highway for a long period of time, you might feel fatigue, because all of the wind, you feel it here in the shoulders. For the Honda CRF300L, here the things change. Why? Because this motorcycle is so easy to manage, it's so easy to manhandle it. The height, it's standard, I haven't changed anything. And the position on the handlebar is very good. The structure of the saddle is similar with the one of Yamaha Ténéré 700, so they have the same shape, with the tank being a little bit up, so you can go with your body very close to the tank to control the motorcycle off-road. I can flat foot the Honda CRF300L very easily without any problems, and you will see further on in the video why. Because I have made some significant changes to this motorcycle, so this might not apply in the case of a standard one. For the CRF300L, the things are different, because the top speed you can comfortably ride the motorcycle on the highway is around 110 or 120 kilometers maximum per hour. Because I've made this modification, the fairing, I don't feel so much wind in my chest. Of course, the buffeting on the helmet, it's not great. It's so you don't feel your head moving side to side. But of course, the same situation here. If you go past that 120, 130 kilometers per hour, you can feel your wind here in the chest. But because it's a smaller motorcycle and you can comfortably ride it between 90 and 110 kilometers per hour on the highway constantly for a long period of time, you will not feel the fatigue, not the same way as Yamaha Ténéré 700. Of course, the condition being to have some sort of a fairing or a wind deflector to help you a little bit. I would like to speak to you about the essential mods and their cost on this motorcycle. There are some things that you have to do and you have to change both on the Ténéré 700 and the Honda CRF300L, and I will tell you why is it very important and what is the cost. The first thing you need to change on the Ténéré 700 are the spring for the rear shock here and the springs from the front forks. They're good. For the vast majority of the people, they're good. But for a guy with my characteristics, with my body height and weight, they were not so good. I was bottoming out both the rear shock and the front springs. So the first thing to change is the rear and front springs. Now the second thing you need to change for this motorcycle is the bash plate. Here I opted for a SW Motec, a very sturdy, very nice bash plate. You really need it if you intend to do any type of off-road with this motorcycle, and you should, because it's a great motorcycle for off-road. But you need this essential modification, the cover of the engine, and I recommend to you the SW Motec. It's a German company, everybody knows it. You just have to go on their site, look it up, and very easy to put on. Also, for a very good protection off-road of the hands, you need the hand guards. So I opted for bark busters. I put the motorcycle down several times, never had any problems. They are very, very good. You need your protection for the hands. A very good investment for the Ténéré 700, it is also the cover for the headlight. It is easier and cheaper to change this 35 euros cover, plastic cover, than to change the all of the headlight assembly. So this is an essential must buy. No motorcycle is perfect, and the Ténéré 700 is not an exception as well. And it has a very famous design flaw. Everybody knows about this flaw. The original exhaust comes right about here next to the swing arm, and if you drop, and you will if you take your motorcycle off-road, if you drop your bike on the right side, then the exhaust goes inside, and if you forget to push it out, it will chew your swing arm, which is made from aluminum. I've seen this happening and it is not very nice. So one very nice modification is, and a must do and essential for this motorcycle, is the relocation, as you can see here, of the exhaust. And for me, I chose the GPR end can because it's easier and it's cheap, and of course a custom made mid pipe to put it away from the swing arm. Another important add-on that you need to have on the Ténéré 700 is the baggage system, and I chose one from SW Motec, and this is a quick release one. It is a lateral rack system with a rear baggage plate. It is very, very well built, very sturdy, and so easy to put on and off. I encourage you to look it up and see for yourself the fine products that SW Motec has for the Ténéré 700. Another very important mod, in my opinion, is the foot peg. I chose a wider foot peg from SW Motec. It is called SW Motec Eon, and it's very nice for those long off-road rides rides where you need to stand up. So you need to change this one if you are planning to do off-road. As you know, riding off-road is essential to stand up. So change your foot pegs. The next modification, it's not a must, but it gives you peace of mind. At least it gave me peace of mind, and is the protection of the water pump. And I chose the SW Motec protection for the water pump. It is not a must-have, but the water pump is in such a position that it can be easily pierced by a rock when you lay down your motorcycle. So if you want to change something to protect your motor and the pump and to continue your ride, please add a water pump protection. And last but not least, this mod as well, it is not a must do, but it's so convenient. And I'm speaking about the USB charger. The motorcycle originally has a normal 12-volt socket like this one, and I decided to change and to add another one, and I added a USB device with 2 plugs to charge on the go my drone, my phone, and everything I need to charge via USB. Now Honda is keeping the price tag of the CRF300L down up to 6,150 euros for one unit. For these reasons, there are some compromises made on this motorcycle, and the first one and the biggest one are the suspension. Suspension is very soft. For me, it was not good to ride, and I decided to change it. And I went with a Nitron shock, Nitron R1, and you can see also the unboxing video here up in the cards. I changed the shock completely, and let me tell you what a great investment that was. You cannot imagine how well the motorcycle performs now that I have a new shock absorber on it. So you have to do it, you have to change it. Of course, when you do such a big change to the motorcycle as changing the rear shock, you should also consider changing the front spring. There are some more expensive alternatives to this. You can revolve your front forks. You can spend a lot of money, thousands of euros, to make it very, very off-road capable. For me, this was not the case. It was enough just to change the spring in the front and the complete unit for the rear shock, and it transformed the motorcycle completely. The next very important mod that you have to do on the CRF300L is the engine cover or the engine protection, and I chose the AXP unit. It is plastic, it is very sturdy, and it makes a huge difference. This one, the Honda CRF300L, does not come with anything from stock, so if you're really planning to go off-road, you need to change this unit. You need to add this unit, this motor or engine cover. I went with the AXP because it's plastic, it's not rattling, it's very easy and was easy to mount. The second mod that you need to do for the Honda CRF300L is, of course, the same hand protection on hand guards. Now here I had some problems because the CRF300L is such a new model. There are not many hand covers or options on the market, so I had to install what I had here in the garage. I had some old ones from my previous KTMs. It worked just fine, but you need to have it if you plan to take your motorcycle off-road as well, and you should plan because it's such a great little motorcycle to take off-road. I'm planning on taking this motorcycle in many of my adventures, so I need a plate, a rear plate for baggage. As for the choice of baggages, I have not decided yet, but for sure I will go for a version of the Reckless system like the ones that I had from the Moscow Moto. But the first thing you need to have a rear plate for your baggage. I will consider later on to change the stock foot pegs. They are not as narrow as you may think, but I have to see after a long adventure ride how I feel about the standard foot pegs. If I don't like them, of course I will change it for a wider version. As well as on the Ténéré 700, also here we need a USB charging port. It has nothing from the stock, comparing to the Ténéré 700 that it has the 12-volt socket included from the stock as you buy it. This one, as you know, I added the fairing and I added the two. This one I will use it for the air compressor, and this one to charge my phone and my electronics. For me, a must mod is to change the original handlebar. Not only that is 22 millimeters and very easy to bend, but it has a bend that I don't like it, and I opted for a Vicma handlebar with 28 to 22 millimeters conversion, and of course the hand risers of 22 millimeters handlebar risers for a better standing position during off-road rides. As a conclusion, both of the motorcycles basically do the exact same thing. With both you can ride on off-road, both we can ride on off-road, on-road, but the difference is in the details. Differences of weight, differences of price, differences of the mods that you have to do, and the price of the mods that you have to do on them. And there is another difference. With the Ténéré 700, you can do two-up riding, but not very comfortable for many kilometers. With the Honda CRF300L, for a man of my stature, you cannot do two-up riding, but it is perfect for solo adventure riding, and I'm sure that it will be a great little motorcycle. You cannot do wrong with both of them. They are cheap, easy to maintain, great on and off-road. It's only about you and what you like it, and I strongly encourage you to try either one of them, and for sure after you try it you will take a decision. Thanks for watching, ride safe, and see you next time. Ciao.